Good Tuesday evening, everyone. It is time for Weather Geeks. First of all, the busy weather that we've had over the last few hours starting to wind down here as I record this at about 10 minutes till 8. So we'll talk about this evening's weather in just a second. First, I want to show you, now that we're about a week into July, here's a look at the temperature anomalies for the first week of the month. A lot of cool weather across the U.S. and southeastern Canada as well during the first part of July. Now, the past 2 days, we've actually been above average with highs around 84. But as a whole, the first week of July will go into the record books as a cool one here, not only locally, but in much of the Midwest, the South, and heading into the Southwest even. The Northwest has been really the only warm spot. All right, rainfall totals this afternoon from some backyard rain gauges here. This is on the Weather Underground site. 0.84, this gauge in Boardman, 0.47 though, just north of Mill Creek Golf Course. So a little bit of a disparity there over a relatively short distance in Boardman. And you go over to Poland, about 3/4 of an inch there, a little south of there, 0.45 north of Evans Lake. You go up into Trumbull County, and let's see here. We had about a half an inch in Cortland, a little over half an inch here in Howland, about 0.9 in Warren. These are total since midnight, by the way. Most of this, of course, falling this afternoon. Columbiana County just got done with some heavy rain. Unfortunately, we don't really have many gauges in the eastern part of Columbiana County. Out in the western part of the county, though, here's a 0.53. This is around Guilford Lake State Park, about a half an inch there. About a half an inch over in far western Columbiana County as well, and then heading back over into Stark County, we did have some 1-inch totals around the North Canton area. So pretty healthy rains as expected. The atmosphere really juicy today, so these were going to be efficient rain producers, that is for sure. All right, here just before 8 o'clock, the heavy rain is pretty much out of our viewing area with one exception. That is Lawrence County, although even southeastern Mercer County still seeing some hefty rain. But the rain is much lighter elsewhere, and our cold front is pushing through as we speak. Again, temperatures were on the warm side today, but of course they've cooled off some with the rain. Dew points are getting set to tumble, though, and that is a good thing because, boy, was it soupy out there today. Dew points are still elevated in the middle and upper 60s, but notice in northwest Ohio they've dropped down into the lower 60s, and they're even in the upper 40s, lower 50s out towards the Chicago area. So some drier air is trying to filter in, and I think we'll notice the change during the day tomorrow. Well, to help you plan out things for tomorrow morning, especially if you're getting ready to get up and go to work on a Wednesday morning. Here's a look at the simulated radar on the NAM model tomorrow morning. Notice the steadiest of the rain is well to the south down towards the Ohio River. But there can be some light rain or just some drizzle around, I think, at the start of the day tomorrow. This should be gone by midday. Here's 11 a.m., maybe some clouds around, maybe a sprinkle. But by early afternoon, while it's not going to be bright and sunny tomorrow, we may see some holes in the clouds trying to develop, especially the farther north you go. I think there'll be a cloud gradient tomorrow across the state from north to south, with the sunniest areas up here and definitely the cloudiest areas in the southern half of the state. All right, so that's the story for tomorrow. Now, Thursday, we've got another wave of low pressure getting set to ride along this front. So Thursday is going to turn out to be damp, I'm afraid. Our old front on Thursday kind of dangling in here. Here's a wave of low pressure along it, and it's going to bring a wave of rain our way on Thursday, probably starting sometime in the morning and continuing at times into the afternoon. Here's the NAM model depiction of things at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Looks like some light rain. There's an outside chance of a thunderstorm Thursday, but I doubt there's much. This will try to pull away by Thursday evening. This bodes well for Friday. I think high pressure is going to build overhead. It's a relatively weak high on Friday, but it's a high nonetheless, and that'll give us some dry weather on Friday as this batch of moisture looks like it will be deflected to our south on Friday. Here's Friday evening, no problems. If you've got weekend plans, real quick look at the GFS here. As we head into the day on Saturday, GFS is showing some moisture to our west, but I suspect most, if not all, of the day is dry. That's the morning. Here's the afternoon on Saturday. We're still looking dry here on the GFS, and this has the support of other models as well. Now, it does try to sneak in maybe a shower by Saturday evening into the overnight. Not sure if I buy this just yet. I think if you want to get outdoors Saturday, most of the day should be fine. This is in the middle of the night, Saturday night, perhaps some showers. And then Sunday, we do have the chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. So Sunday is probably the part of the weekend that we could have a shower or a thunderstorm, although the chances at this point a little hard to pin down. So that's a quick look at your weekend. Overall, the weather pattern that we're heading into as we go towards the weekend and beyond, here's the upper level flow here. This is Friday morning. The overall pattern here, nice trough on the west coast for a change. Some needed rain there. Ridge off the coast, or more inland, I should say, in the southeast. That will allow us to warm up, certainly. We'll get well into the 80s at the end of this week and into the weekend especially. But the pattern's going to evolve as we go into the weekend and beyond to the ridge kind of shifting back to the west and kind of parking itself here. What that'll do is put us in a northwest flow, and we'll get little disturbances that ride the jet stream down from southern Canada. It's kind of like an Alberta Clipper type of a pattern for the weekend and next week. And that will give us several chances of some precipitation. You know, we're going to have a hard time stringing together more than one, maybe two dry days in a row before shower and thunderstorm chances return. So as we go into the middle of next week, here's the 16th, the same overall pattern here. We've got that high ridge of high pressure out here, northwest flow, and little ripples will come along and produce some showers and storms. Now, in this kind of a pattern, sometimes you can get some heavier thunderstorms, so we'll have to iron out those details. But overall, it's an unsettled looking pattern as we go into the medium range here. Here's the climate forecast system deviation from average rainfall amounts. This is covering the 10-day period here from the 7th through the 17th. So this is from today out through the end of next week. Where we live here in the Ohio and Western PA region, we're looking at perhaps double the amount of rain that we would typically see in that 10-day period. So the next 10 days looking pretty soggy. The 10-day chunk then from the 12th to the 22nd shows that we're probably starting to transition out of that pattern a little bit towards the last third of the month. Notice the deviations from average may not be as high during that time frame, maybe still a little above average though for the middle part of the month. And then towards the end of the month, here's the 17th through the 27th. Hopefully this works out all right. This actually shows below average rainfall by a modest amount across Ohio and Pennsylvania. So next 10 days, pretty unsettled. A few more rounds of showers and storms, not every day, but almost every day. And then we should hopefully start to transition out of that once we get past the middle of the month. So a little sneak peek at the long range there, and that is tonight's weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks, as always, for watching, everyone. Appreciate it. I'll have a full update on rainfall totals and everything else you need to know about the next 7 days coming up tonight on 21 News at 11. I will see you then.